21 Team Raven. The leader calling them into their first manoeuvre, the Big Vic Loop. The leader being Simon Shirley, known as Sid. He's Raven 1, a former RAF fast-jet pilot. He's got around 5,500 flying hours in his logbook. He's a former air defence man on the Tornado F3, multiple tours on that type. He's been a qualified flying instructor on the Hawk, on the Grob Tutor, and on the new Grob Prefect, and he's currently a full-time reservist qualified flying instructor on the Universities of Wales Air Squadron at St Athan, and this is his 7th full season as a display pilot. Now coming back in towards us on the 45-degree line. Sid calling them efficiently into a very nicely flown wing over to the left, still in Big Vic. He's relatively new to the RV8. Sid used to lead the team in an RV4 model and led with that aircraft for the team's first 4 seasons. But now the team all on the same mount, and we see number 5 pulling out for his solo part of the display. Raven 5 being Mark Southern, another ex-military pilot, this time on the strike version of the Tornado, the GR1. He too was an instructor in the RAF on the Jet Provost, and he went on to fly for Thomas Cook Airlines on the Airbus A321 and A330. He's got a good deal of experience on ex-military jets. That's something that's also common to some members of Team Raven. He was part of an earlier outfit, Team Viper, on the Hawker Hunter at a time when he owned his own Hunter GA11. He has 19,000 flying hours to his name. The 4-ship now return in box formation. And pulling through a very nice barrel roll, tracing the outline of the inside of an imaginary barrel in the sky. As Mark Southern completes the solo element. What a brilliant performer this aircraft is. So easy to see why it's proved so popular as a home-built aeroplane, because while it is home-built, it has the sort of aerobatic performance that far more specialised aeroplanes would generally be thought to boast, as well as being a very practical and economical tourer. Now as Mark heads back out towards the west, turn to the left, and you can see Ravens 1, 2 and 3 in Vic formation for what they call their box with Cyclone, and we've got Raven 2 barrel rolling around their smoke. This is Steve Lloyd, one of the private pilots in the team, one of its co-founders in 2013. And a former member of another Welsh-based formation team, Team Osprey, on the Yakovlev Yak 52. He's been flying for more than 30 years. He has some 1,500 or so flying hours to his credit. He too has some ex-military jet time on a Jet Provost T3 he used to own, and he built 2 of the team's aircraft, including the one now owned by Raven 1, Simon Shirley. And then we see Raven 5, or we can just about see against these rather hazy skies, Raven 5 rejoining the other 4 aircraft. Just gaining a little bit of height before they tip in towards us on what we call the B axis. When we talk about the A axis, that's the one parallel to the main hardened grass runway, is the B axis at 90 degrees. On to that. Tipping left, very steep now, calls the leader. Smoke on, go. Gradually rolling out. Heading straight for us with the lights on. Sid pulls them up. And this will be the downward fan brake. The outer wingmen break away first. And there go the rest of them. Now look both right and left. We've got Ravens 4 and 5, each pulling up at the end of the display line to perform what are called half Cuban maneuvers. So there they go, pulling up as if to loop, but reaching the apex and rolling out on the down line before heading in towards one another to cross a display centre in a manoeuvre called the crossing flute. Raven 4 is Gerald Williams, former professional rugby player in Wales, New Zealand and South Africa. Now a businessman based in Swansea, private pilot for a quarter of a century, and he specialised in the past in ex-military jets. He has flown the likes of the L-29 Delphin, the L-39 Albatross, Jet Provost, Strike Master, Vampire, Venom and Hunter. He's owned Yak 52s and he's owned a Westland Wasp, ex-Fleet Air Arm helicopter. In come Ravens 1, 2 and 3. Having performed that quarter clover, they clear to allow Ravens 4 and 5 in a loose battle formation, and they'll be performing synchronised battle loops. And a pair of them now breaking away from us as Raven 1 brings the 3 ship in towards us with colleagues 2 and 3. And they'll be performing the crossing brake. Raven 3 is another of the team's co-founders, Barry Gwinnett. A more than 30 years experienced private pilot, 2,000 hours, in excess of that now, on various aircraft. And like quite a lot of the pilots in the team, also a very experienced engineer. These are Ravens 4 and 5 again entertaining us. Look straight ahead once again. In comes the 3-ship formation with lights on for a very big barrel roll. And a very neat formation change there as they head towards us and perform a hesitation fall away. And here come 4 and 5 once more. Once again in on the B-axis. And I'm I'm sure you can guess what's about to happen as they pull up, pull away from one another, put the smoke on, and this is the Team Raven Hart. Hardly any gaps between sequences in this very dynamic display as Ravens 1, 2 and 3 head in from the west. They'll be pulling up 1, up 2, up 3 for the Caterpillar loops. Time now for the rejoin back into a 5-ship for the final 2 manoeuvres of this display. There you can see 4 and 5 rapidly rejoining numbers 1, 2 and 3. And they'll be heading in from east to west. This is where the number 5 team member has to particularly get the speed on to rejoin his 4 colleagues. About to slot smartly into position. And there they go. Putting the smoke back on for a manoeuvre known as the Twizzles. Elegantly rolling away from us before rejoining as a 5-ship. The last manoeuvre of their display. Sid Shirley as leader calling the speed to the rest of his colleagues, 110 knots. As they make up that big Vic formation we saw at the start of the display.
Ya no van a hacer nada. No, digo esto.
So running in parallel to the A-axis, they'll be performing a quarter of a cloverleaf manoeuvre. There's the roll towards us, and this, to conclude their display, is the downward fan brake. And that was the 2021 Team Raven. Thanks very much to all the pilots, to Simon Shirley, Steve Lloyd, Barry Gwinnett, Gerald Williams and Mark Southern.